Hey there, guys. Welcome back to Sister Cerise. I took a little vacation, but I'm back in effect. And guess what? I got some information on Sean Diddy Combs, from mogul to legal battle. Wow. Let's talk about him because there is a hearing coming up on the 25th. And in the world of hip hop and entertainment, few names carry as much weight as Sean Combs, better known as Diddy. You know, for decades, he's been synonymous with success, luxury, and influence. A lot of you guys know that. But today, what we're discussing is a very different chapter in his story. And we have been discussing this chapter for some time. And this chapter is one that has captured headlines worldwide and could potentially reshape his legacy forever. Put in the comments below what you think. As October 2025 approaches, Sean Combs faces a crucial moment that will determine his immediate future. His defense team, Mark Agnifilo, I really like him a lot, and the rest of them, there's a whole bunch of them, is that they are making a desperate plea. They are making a desperate plea for time served. It really does make sense in light of a lot of other things. But the reality is stark because a lot of people are thinking he could be facing decades behind bars. But of course, you gotta know all the details. First, let's talk about the background. To understand the gravity of this situation, we need to look at who Sean Combs has been in American culture. He was born in Harlem. Did you guys know that he is a New Yorker? And in 1969, Combs built an empire that extended far beyond music. He founded Bad Boy Records, was the founder in 1993. Not just one of the artists, and a lot of people don't realize that. He, in 1993, was launching the careers of artists like the Notorious B.I.G., Faith Evans, and Mace. His influence shaped the sound of the 90s hip hop and R&B, and a lot of people don't want to admit that. They want to say, no, he was biting. But you know, at the end of the day, he really was doing his thing and he was bringing out a lot of artists and he really could identify them. But Combs wasn't just content with being a record executive. He became Puff Daddy, then P Diddy, then Simply Diddy, and now Brother Love. I think he's going to do a lot more with Brother Love when he gets out with time served. If he gets time served, I think it's more than likely. If not, then most likely he'll get sentenced. But this is just my opinion, and then he'll get out early. Anyway, when he became Puff Daddy, no matter what, he was a brand in himself. He conquered fashion with Sean John, revolutionized vodka marketing with Ciroc, and became one of the wealthiest figures in entertainment. A billionaire, making him a fixture on Forbes' list of the richest celebrities. Could you imagine being one of the richest celebrities in the world? And then, of course, his parties became legendary, exclusive gatherings that attracted a list of celebrities, politicians, and business moguls. These events were often called white parties at first, not the famous word that you guys know, the freaky deaky. And this is where the pinnacle of luxury and exclusivity really started to kick in. And little did the public know that some of these gatherings would later become central to a serious criminal charge. But, of course, they couldn't prove it. The federal charges against Sean Combs, they paint a disturbing picture that sounds in stark contrast to his public image. Like he really did something wrong. But again, they could not find the proof to prove that he was guilty. Now, of course, they found the proof with the man charges, but not with the RICO. Initially, he faced some of the most serious allegations possible under federal law. sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation for prostitution. Those are very serious charges in the United States. The racketeering charges allege that Combs operated a criminal enterprise through his various business entities. But again, they couldn't prove it. They were alleging this. According to the prosecutors, this wasn't just about individual crimes. They were saying that they could see he ran an entire operation designed to facilitate illegal activities while maintaining his public facade. And again, they couldn't prove it. Now, the sex trafficking charges were particularly serious because, those were carrying a potential life sentence. So people were saying. But these allegations, they only suggested that Combs used his power, his wealth, and influence to coerce individuals into commercial sex acts. The prosecution painted a picture of a man who exploited his position to harm vulnerable people. But they couldn't prove it. Right? It's all about proving it. The transportation charges related to the allegations that he moved people across state lines for the purpose of prostitution, very serious. In the federal system, okay, guys, these charges carry significant weight and demonstrate the interstate nature of the alleged crimes. But that's not what he was doing. He was hiring people that were enjoying his event, entertainers, and they were crossing the line, but willingly for money. He wasn't pushing anyone to go over state lines. And in a surprising turn of events in July 2025, Combs was acquitted. He was acquitted of the most serious charges. The jury found him not guilty of sex trafficking and racketeering, and nothing to do with conspiracy. Charges that could have resulted in life imprisonment were dropped. This was undoubtedly a massive relief for Combs and his legal team, 100%, and I know you could just imagine. But the victory was only partial. He was found guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, right? Taking the guys over state lines. While these are really lesser charges compared to what he initially faced, they still carry serious consequences. But to what degree? The trial outcome in July 2025 was a mixed result that left both sides claiming some degree of victory. So Combs' defense attorney called the acquittal on the major charges a victory of all victories for Sean Combs. That's what his defense attorney was saying. This is a victory of all victories for Sean Combs because it's very difficult to fight those RICO charges, the racketeering charges, And from their perspective, avoiding conviction on sex trafficking charges was huge, paramount. So these were the allegations that could have destroyed him completely. And the jury's decision suggests they weren't convinced by the prosecution argument that Combs operated a criminal enterprise or that he engaged in trafficking. This is significant because federal prosecutors typically have high conviction rates, especially on racketeering charges. The acquittal indicates that despite the media attention and public opinion, because there was a lot, the evidence presented in court did not meet the high standard required for these serious felonies. However, the 2 convictions now for transportation to engage in prostitution cannot be dismissed as minor victories for the prosecution, even though it is a minor victory still for the defense team, right? Because with the prosecution, they're looking at each count carrying a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison, meaning Sean, what they think, could face up to 20 years total if sentenced to consecutive terms. So remember, as we approach the third, now what happened was the judge himself, he asked the prosecution and he asked the defense team, come together, find a certain case to show similarities and also show what those people got at the end of it all. It's a federal case. So they needed to get together and they needed to find a case that was similar to see what that person got in regards to a sentence. And, so the judge was trying to be fair, and the judge is relatively new. And so he's like, okay, you know what? Find me a case where it is similar and let me know what that person got in regards to time sentencing, and I will analyze Combs' sentencing. And so, they pretty much did. But at the end of the day, they're looking at it like, listen, this was not some type of a prostitution scheme. This was not Diddy making money off the women. This was not Diddy beating the girls and making the girls travel through state lines. This was the girls saying, hey, let's get freaky deaky, and I really love you and I know you like to get strange in the bedroom, and I want to make sure that I get you all pleased. So yeah, I'm gonna call a couple of guys over these state lines because I don't like the one that lives in this state. The one that I like, we found on Instagram, and he lives in another state. So yeah, we're gonna pay for his flights, we're gonna pay for his time, whether it's 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, it doesn't matter. We're going to pay for him, and he's going to come and stay with us, and we are going to have him as an entertainer, and we're going to film it, we're going to have fun, and we're going to just enjoy ourselves. Nobody was hurt in these videos, and nobody was filmed against their will in these videos. So it all sounds kind of strange that these charges are still sticking. So it's, I think, logical for his team to ask for a total overthrow, a total mistrial on the hearing that's coming up September 25th. But for sure, if it doesn't get thrown out of court, then for sure, time served October 3rd when he goes to court. This only makes sense, I think, whether you are a Diddy supporter or not. You could be saying in the comments right now, oh gosh, I can't stand Diddy. He did this and he did that. It doesn't matter. He only did, in the eyes of the law, what the prosecutors could prove. And they can't charge him for anything else that they said he did, and he didn't, and they couldn't prove. So my prediction is that on September 25th, when they go to the hearing to see what's going on, I believe that the judge is really going to take it into consideration, and the judge is going to look at it. But I don't believe the judge is going to throw it out of court. If the judge does, I will be shocked, and that will go down in history that the judge threw it out of court, because Diddy did a lot of time in jail already, over a year. It's been a year now, September, right? I think September 24th. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he got arrested September 24th, which means tomorrow will be 1 year. And so, yeah, guys, if Judge Arun says, okay, you know what? Yeah, I agree with the defense. These charges should not stick. These charges are ridiculous. And any case that you brought to me is not as serious. I mean, this case is not as serious as any case that you brought to me. So sorry, these charges should not have stuck, and I don't even know how it went through court, anything like that. But I don't believe that that's what's going to happen. But I do believe that it's going to make his sentence lighter. And I do believe that he will get time served, because he's not guilty of even the Mann Act. It's an outdated act. It's an outdated way to charge somebody. He didn't go over the state lines and bring someone over. He paid for a dude to entertain his girl. His girl was the one that paid for those entertainers, and he reimbursed his girl by giving her some money back. Come on. That is not that does that in my eyes, that's not what prostitution is. That's not him prostituting those girls out. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to leave you this video. I love you so much. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I appreciate you. I'm sorry that I left you high and dry last Monday and Wednesday, and I believe it was the Friday before that as well. I've had family here, and I've been chilling out and just taking some time to relax. I went for a CO2 fractional laser to resurface my skin. So that did that a week it takes for the skin to replenish itself. And it looks like it's trying to do that, and it's looking good, but I still have to go for 2 more sessions. So October 15th, I will be going again, which means that I will not be doing the videos with my face, probably for a month or maybe 2 weeks after that. But I'll still be doing videos. I'll just be doing voiceovers like I am right now. Okay. And then again, after that, a month. So November 15th for 2 weeks after that, I won't be doing face videos, but I will be doing voiceovers because I love you guys so much and I miss you loads. Take care, everyone. I will update you on the 25th, of course, to let you know what went on with the hearing. So make sure you tune in, and I will also be here on Friday. What's today? Is today the 23rd? Yeah. So tomorrow's the 24th. So, so Friday I'll be doing the weekend wrap up with my girl, Jessica Chin King, and we will be talking to you guys about a lot of different things that's happening in entertainment. You are amazing. Please do me a couple of favors aside from subscribing. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you gained any information from this video. But do me another favor. Please be good to yourself out there. Just be good to yourself. Don't speak badly to yourself. Don't look at yourself in the mirror and say that you look gross or ugly or anything of that nature. Always love yourself and always be good to yourself. Eat some good fruit. Eat some good vegetables. And remember, tomorrow is not promised. So go ahead, make the best of today. And I will see you in the next video. God bless you. I love you. Bye-bye.